I was doing some rune crafting before this to get some blood runes for this grind. Let me see if I can find myself some music for this. Let's try this one. I don't think I've heard this. Oh, I definitely have. See this one. Nice. This is nice. Alright. So let's start getting geared up. I think this is fine actually. Um, get some law runes. Oh, and blood runes, I guess. Sweet. Let me lock that spot. What do I need? What do I need? I already forgot. Oh, the bow. I was gonna go with range bow without a range weapon. That's silly. Let me actually deposit this in the house. Um. So guys, check it out. I actually got my ornate jewelry box right here. Beautiful. I got myself, you know, Grand Exchange TP, and I have the freaking fairy ring. I'm set for this, honestly. Super excited. So happy I did this grind. Let's see, what am I missing from this setup? I think we're fine here. Alright, let's set up the inventory. I'm actually putting my phone on loud in case the wife calls. That's important. Alright, deposit this, lock these slots. Alright. Just take normal ranging potion is what I was taking at the end right now. No. Let's keep taking that for now. I was taking 3 of these and the rest was food, right? I think this is what my inventory was looking like. Let me check something out here. Oops. I like this playlist. Just off the bat, this song, it's beautiful. Alright. I think we're ready. We have this our spell here. We've got the teleport to the house, which has a fairy ring. Awesome. Didn't know I had so many dust runes. It's gonna be quite useful. Alright. I think We're good to go. We're good to good, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this. Whoa, what happened there? That was it took a little long there, buddy. Whoa. Did you guys see that demon butler outside of the house? What's this guy fishing? Are those the... Oh, that's fucking cool. Okay. Oh, I hadn't set this up. I guess I'll set him up now. It's fine. Alright. Let's get to it. First kill of the day. I don't know how much KC I'm starting at. I'll check it in a second when I get to the spot. Alright, KC, Zulrah. I'm starting at 100 KC, fresh. So fresh and so clean, clean, clean. Not surprised. Not surprised. When these smoke clouds start disappearing, I'll move. Forgot he can hit 41. I didn't fought a strong boss in a while. I've been doing Grotesque Guardians as well, guys. I unlocked them. Oh, I'm gonna go home, heal up, and come right back. Now that I have the house pull. I mean, I have 2 minutes on the Divine. I don't know if this is the play, but we'll see. Just didn't want to use the anti-venom, but I guess it might be worth using it in that situation. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Oh, but that's so nice that I can do that, honestly. That's one kill. Yeah, 2 minutes is fine. We're good. Oh, definitely nice. I have no idea how many charges my ring has. I'll turn on the... There you are. You were ready for me, weren't you? Alright, nice. I'm actually kind of used to this face now. Ah! Yeah, I don't think with what do you call it? I don't think with a divine I can get more than 2 kills per trip because my divine will run out. I think if I bring a normal ranging potion, maybe. But there's gotta be a trick to it. Or more defense than a normal ranging potion. The thing is that How am I gonna give up a divine ranging potion? Come on now. How many of these do I have? I don't have 19. I have 4. That's normal. That's true. That's the truth right there. Oh, holas, holas, holas. Oh, baby. And it broke, right? Yeah, it broke. Some more grapes. I'm loving those grapes. I have so many now. I didn't realize they gave so much experience, so beautiful, beautiful. Let me get myself another recoil in here. Oh, I wish I had the suffering, honestly. Oh, wait. That's what I said I was gonna do. What's this, right? So, get myself another recoil. I don't need the rings of dueling anymore. Alright, and I'm sure I'm missing something on my setup, but it's alright. Alright. Teleport to house. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is so great. Oh, I have this shit on. Whatever, it's fine. Maybe I should take off steel skin. I don't really think it'll help. It's helping me with anything. If I did CG without steel skin, I can do this shit without steel skin. Alright, let's go. If I see it start taking too much damage, I'll put it back on, but I don't think it's necessary. Oh no. That was unnecessary damage taken. Alright. Yeah, no, fuck that. Oh no, I'm just kidding. I don't need the Toad Flex seeds, but I do need the Sora skills. No, we're going again. We're going again. My goodness, I'm missing my clicks so hard. So I'm supposed to be up here, I guess. Just trying to not drink anti-venom. And they're basically free, actually. Look at that. Yeah, this skill's taking me long. I gotta move my inventory from there. It's really fucking me up. Oh shit, I hit. What was that? That was not expected. Oh! That was sad. That was sad. I got a little too happy with my switches, I guess. We're going again. That sucks. Alright. But I think the Zulrah chest is cheaper than Death Scoffer, if I'm not wrong. Unless that's changed over the past few years, though I doubt it. Yeah, but that was 100% like an issue of the prayer, honestly. Yeah, it's 100k to unlock it. Oh, that's so Sash. Sash, that's Sash. First death of the stream. How much KC am I at? KC Sora. 103. 3 kills in, I'm already dead. God damn it. I'm gonna break one of these. Alright. Let's go restock. I guess I shouldn't even lock this second slot, huh? Because I'm basically using a recoil every trip. Okay, Divine Radiance, Venom, 3 of these. Wish there was a way that I can also like make sure it doesn't go into a slot. That's the next update they gotta do. Alright, this is great. Let's do it like this. And yeah. Let's head back out. Oh, what? Thank goodness I checked here. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. I was supposed to have... Oh, this is so good. Mm, I want to see if that chat message disappears before I go on. Doesn't seem like it will. All right. Ooh la la. Should we watch this, guys? Let's watch it for a second. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. It's starting in. Well, starting soon. I don't know what soon is. Let's leave it with a little bit of sound. It's the sailing alpha sneak peek. That sounds good. Alright, we'll put it in a second. Let me actually catch the window on the side so we can properly view it. Let's see, actually. Window capture or browser? No, window capture. Yeah, baby. Let's see if we can crop this. Shit. We'll put it here to the side, and then when it comes out, we'll put it on the main screen, guys. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. This is the newest skill for old school RuneScape. So let's see how it goes. For now, we do another Zulrah trip. I am pumped for sailing. I've been playing this game for a lot of years, and it's gonna be the first new skill that we're gonna have. Oh shit. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this stream goes. A sneaky peeky. I got a sneaky peeky at sailing. Oh shit. Oh shit, we starting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. in today's live stream, we're going to talk about the upcoming Sailing Alpha, which is going to be
Let me make
available
sure you
for
get out
you
of here. Let
guys
me
to
go
play
home.
at home on
I'm excited. I'm
Thursday,
excited for this.
11 a.m. GMT time. So mark your calendars, do not miss it. I am joined today by some of our wonderful dev team who have been hard at work on sailing. Mods Elena, Husky, and Lenny. Elena, we'll start
Mm,
with you. How are you doing
I was gonna
today?
make some house tabs
I'm doing
meanwhile,
great.
but
Yeah,
let's react to this.
amazing. The weather is really nice. I'm planning on going for a walk after this, and yeah, it's nice to be able to actually go outside again. I haven't been outside since Runefest, so yeah, that'll be good.
You've been busy working
Same.
on sailing and getting ready for the alpha.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
awesome, awesome. I
Let me
need
see
some
if
sunlight
you can
myself.
just
Gosh.
bring the window over and
Husky,
make
how
it
are you
full
doing
screen.
today?
Terribly. I can't authenticate on Twitch to see what everyone's saying and type with my Jmod name, so I guess I'm just
Just
a
delete
watcher and I
this
can't
shit.
respond. But outside of that tech issue that I should have sorted out 20 minutes ago,
Alright.
yeah, I'm good. Still living in the basement,
I'm
as many
pumped.
people will probably see in chat because we haven't got that skirting fixed, but I'm happy with the room. We still need more furniture.
Awesome. Lenny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's nice to still be light outside when I finish work again.
Ah man, I love these update
Very
streams.
excited, but also nervous for the upcoming alpha. But obviously, we'll get into that.
Yes, we will. We will. That is the topic of today's stream. So we're gonna start. We're gonna break the ice a bit, and we're gonna throw up an image
How am I not
of
following? What
the
is this
OSRS
nonsense?
sailing team at Runefest. Lenny, can you
Ah,
take us
that's
through who we
hilarious.
can
That's
see
awesome.
here on the image, just so that chat can get acquainted with the sailing team?
Yes, so I said before that I could do this, but I am now putting to the test my Jmod name knowledge skills. So on the back, we've got obviously Mod Elena on the left, our senior game designer, Mod Shogun, game designer, Mod Lee Blake, QA analyst, myself, Mod Lenny, lead tech designer. Mod Curse is a advanced QA analyst, I believe is the right title. Mod Abe, game designer. Mod Tide, game designer. And then in the front, we've got Mod Gecko, our producer. Mod Nin, our senior game systems engineer. And Mod Husky, our game designer. Plus a huge bunch of other people that are contributing a ton to sailing behind the scenes and couldn't be at Runefest.
What a beautiful team. So that is the sailing dev team right there. We met you guys if you attended Runefest, and I was just wondering if we could talk about Runefest before we actually show off sailing to you guys. How was Runefest for you? What was your responsibilities at Runefest? Did
I
you
wanna
enjoy the
see when they actually
experience?
show off Room
Let's start with
Fest.
Husky.
I mean, sailing. Haha.
Runefest was fantastic. Like, I mean, first of all, it's free for us, so we just get like a free paid out trip to see everyone, which is great. It is work though, but like to be honest, it was like for me, it was like 80% just chatting to really cool people who came out to see us, and like 20% just sometimes giving people PC credit. So
Ah, theater mode. I didn't know this existed. Awesome.
So it was fun. It sounds cliche. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god," but like this is genuinely quite a challenging job at times, like emotionally, and it's just one of those like strong reminders. Like this is why you do what you do. This is why you care and nitpick over designs and sometimes fight your colleagues and sometimes like go out and do stuff. It really was just such that solid reminder of like, damn, this is who we're doing it for. So awesome. It was just awesome to see all the players. Awesome to talk to people. I think I could have sat there for a week just chatting to people about like the game and how excited they were and all that stuff.
Awesome. Lenny, what was your experience like at Runefest?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was, the first Runefest in 5 years. It's been crazy seeing that obviously it was so many players' first time at Runefest, but also so many people on the team's first Runefest, or at least their first as a JMod. I mean, I've been lucky enough to have been to 6 of them, I think, now. But, 5-year gap in between, it was incredible being back.
Yeah, I can't
Like
believe it
I
had
said,
taken
just
so long
being
to
able to
do
sort of
one,
close
but I
around the
guess
bad
it makes
areas, speaking to
sense.
everyone that was trying out,
All the
sailing
changes
alpha
and
there,
COVID and everything.
sort of like gauging their feedback, sort of, just seeing how they found it getting hands-on for the first time. It was great. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
I think,
And Elena, what was your experience like? You were hosting the stage panels, right? Are they called?
Uh, yeah, well, I wasn't hosting them, but I definitely was on the stage a couple of times. So I did the keynote for sailing on the stage, and this was brought up a couple of times.
so
How
guys, this was
again,
not planned for me. I didn't know this was gonna be live today. Ooh.
everyone going on stage, especially during the
I'm just gonna
closing
make it
rounds, where
small
like,
on the
oh, there's
side
so
and I'll
many
keep
people
doing
here.
some Zulrah.
And you don't really
So they
see it in
actually show
footage, but
content
there
and I'll
were
just
over
teleport out.
3,000 people at RuneFest, and
Mm,
most developers, I don't think, have spoken on a stage in front of that many people before. So that was definitely a new experience for me. Super scary, but also super exciting at the same time. Um, I'm also one of the people that Lenny mentioned that the last time I was at RuneFest, I was a player. So this was my first time as staff, and it was completely different being on the other side of things. Really exciting though, and I can't see there being a RuneFest again where I don't attend. Like, you'll have to keep me away from it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the feeling is shared across the team. Really, we had a wonderful time.
Alright, we
And I've
continue
seen
our
some people
Zulrah
in the
guy, and
chat saying
meanwhile,
that they attended RuneFest, talking about RuneFest itself, and it was great to meet you. If we met any one of you, let us know in the chat.
I will go
The
someday.
players themselves as well certainly enjoyed playing sailing.
Definitely.
They previewed the sailing alpha at RuneFest to make sure that it was ready for Thursday. Let's play some testimony from some of the players that we met at RuneFest.
So far, I really like it, which is weird because I was very skeptical about sailing at first. Played a little bit of it, and I really enjoy so far.
I think it'll probably integrate really well with a lot of the other skills in the game, and I think that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm also worried about it. I don't want it to be like a mini game.
No, these are not paid actors.
But we'll
I
see.
promise you this. I've seen some of the comments in the chat. All that we ask is that you try the content for yourself. You'll get to try it on Thursday. And yeah, let us know what you think. One last comment on the LAN area. One of my favorite experiences was I was monitoring the LAN area. I was helping somebody out with their raft while they were playing. And I saw another player sail past the person that I'm helping. And they said, "Nice boat, loser." And since everybody was using their real logins in the alpha, I went and confronted them at RuneFest. Now, I don't have the recording or the footage to show you. I went around every single PC trying to find where that player was. When I found them, though, they were absolutely wonderful. Couldn't stop giggling. They were really nice. So I'm hoping that all of you in the chat will behave yourself.
Oh, we're gonna be so nice.
When you try the alpha on
Yeah,
Thursday.
right.
You're dying to see the gameplay. I'm just going to go through some announcements and then we will get started. So, exclamation mark launch. Get ready to sail across Gillinor. The sailing alpha launches Thursday, March 20th, 11 a.m. GMT. Exclamation mark alpha will take you to the RuneFest blog. We will have a blog going live on the Thursday, but it's not ready yet. Exclamation mark video will take you to the alpha gameplay trailer that we showed at RuneFest. And exclamation mark Discord. This is the dedicated sailing Discord. I'll admit it has been a little bit inactive as we've been working hard behind the scenes, but we're going to be a lot more active in there now that the alpha is coming out. So make sure to join. There is going to be an Ask Us Anything channel where you can ask us your questions and we'll try and get to them as soon as possible. All right, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Let's jump into the gameplay, and warning, if you don't want to experience any spoilers, look away now.
Oh yeah, no.
Spoil
me, spoil me, mommy.
I'm gonna pass this over to Elena, and yeah, just take it away. Let's talk about the basics to start with, and then we'll jump into some other bits and pieces afterwards.
Chat, rate my drip. Do I look like a sailor? Rate my drip. Do I look like a sailor?
Oh, the echo.
Said, I love the crab bank.
Crab bank is my favorite bank. It's really good. All right,
Oh shit,
so
where are they? I guess this is the dock.
Show off thing. So if it's a bit desynchronized, I apologize. But we're currently on the Pandemonium, which is a new area that you unlock. Once you finish the introductory quest when sailing, you'll be starting off from the Pandemonium.
All right.
This is where you'll get on the boat for the first time. So the way you get on the boat is through the gangplank that Husky just used, and he's on the raft, which is a reward for completing the quest Pandemonium.
You get a raft.
Clicked on the sea, and then off he goes. Boats move a bit differently to players, so they would just keep going in the direction that you've set the boat to go in.
Okay.
And when you sort of move your mouse around, you can see that there's this white arrow indicating which direction the boat will try to move to. And if you
That's
click on
fucking
that,
cool.
it will
Okay.
just turn to face that direction relative to where you are, and start moving in that direction instead.
Makes sense.
Was there anything else you wanted me to cover on this slide?
I wanted to talk about the FAQ interface, if that's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of players, we noticed at RuneFest that a lot of players didn't realize there was an FAQ. We've built in an FAQ within the game so that you don't really need to check out any blogs or videos if you don't want to. So, Husky, if you're able to just open up that FAQ interface and just show the chat what it looks like and where to find it, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
this at the whole bottom left is a button that will bring
I
a
love
bit
these
of
new.
help for you guys in the alpha if you're not
I
sure
love
what to
these
do, or
new,
you
how do you
wanna
call
learn
it,
about things, or if you
like
encounter problems,
menus,
we've got, like, a
interactive
whole
menus that they've
big
started
list of things you can
implementing.
do.
It's
These
really
are all
cool.
buttons you can click on and talk about different types of content.
Oh man, I can
Awesome.
just go
The
home and come
survey
right
as
back, can't I?
well. I'll just shout this out. Sorry, shameless plug. The survey that you that we're using to collect feedback will also be linked in this FAQ. It's just at the top left, if you can
Let's
see
see.
there.
Oh no,
That's
but I
an
don't have enough.
out-of-game
I
survey,
just
but it's
wasted that
linked in
teleport. I'm
game.
gonna have to do one.
I'm seeing some obviously people in the chat with feedback. All we ask is that you try the alpha, give it a good go, and then fill in that survey, because that's going to be the main tool that we're using to make feedback changes.
I don't think I
Just want
can
to say I
do the
really
skill and
appreciate all
focus
the
on this stream.
positivity as well in the chat that I can see.
It's
You
really
guys are
cool.
amazing.
I
And for
think
those that still have
it's just gonna have to feel
patience, keep
nice, right? That's the
watching,
only thing
and
that
we're
I'm
going to show you some
worried about.
training
I
methods
feel like it
soon.
might not feel that
There's
nice.
a couple of bits to cover as well in terms of the side panel. I didn't really touch on that at all. And for
In terms
most
of
of
the
the sailing,
movement,
you
the
don't really
movement
need to use the
terrifies me,
side
honestly.
panel, to be honest. But there are buttons there that will make it a bit easier for you to traverse certain areas. So
That's
as
really
you can
what
see at the
worries me the
moment,
most.
there's two sort of rows in the side panel of things. The top row is the sails, and that controls the first button is basically stop and start. So clicking on that button will immediately stop your boat, or if you're already stopped, it will start your boat. So you will just go straight forward.
Immediately
The other two
stop.
buttons, up and
That
down,
doesn't sound
will
very
impact your
realistic.
speed. So if you're already at the top speed, it will be grayed out. You won't be able to do anything. If not, you can lower down to half speed, or you can lower down to stopped. Or if you're stopped, you can lower it even further and go backwards. So we also have a reverse function, which is really good if you're sort of like stuck on something. It's quite nice to be able to get out of that. The row sort of below that is just to indicate whether you're steering at the moment or not. Which is kind of useful because sometimes people don't realize that they've like disconnected from the helm, and they're wondering why their boat isn't moving, but it's actually the player then disconnected from the helm, moving themselves around the boat instead. So we're looking into how we can make that even more obvious though. But there's plenty of other features we want to add to this panel as well. I think a bit later on we'll see some more facilities on the boat, and they'll be added to the panel as well. As well as this will be a good place for you to see the stats of your boat, and in the future as well be able to sort of
Sweet.
command your crewmates around and manage those.
Awesome.
I don't like that you
One
can
thing I wanted
immediately
to touch
stop. I
on
don't think
as well
that's
is just
realistic, honestly, but
something that I think
it's the
some
only
people
gripe I have so
have
far.
spotted it already, but every like roughly 30 seconds or so, or
Alright, let's
right
focus
now,
on this
as it happens to be,
stream.
there will be a gust of wind. And when that wind appears, if you trim the sails, you'll get a speed boost and you'll get some XP. There was a bit of a design change here. Before we called it luffing, but it's no longer luffing, it's just a gust of wind. So if you ever, see that wind around your sails, click the sails, go fast.
Someone typed in the chat, fluffing? No, luffing.
Oh my goodness.
Is the alpha going to be members only? Can anybody answer that one?
It
Yep.
is, yeah.
Cool. How long is the
Makes
alpha going to
sense.
last?
It'll be live for a week.
Cool. And what clients is the alpha available in, just for players at home?
So it will be available on our vanilla Java client, the official C++ client, It will be available on Runelite. It will not be available on mobile at the moment. We've not sort of thoroughly enough tested it there yet to feel comfortable putting that out just yet. Other third-party clients will not be available in the alpha. There's just going to be too many teething issues around sort of the graphics involved in it.
Cool.
So it has to be their client. All right.
Now we've covered how to navigate a boat. Let's talk about port tasks. So, Mod Elena, are you able to give us a rundown while Husky is taking a port task?
When he's done killing a seagull, I will.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. So
That
port
wants me to
tasks
stop. I'll stop.
Peter. Yeah. Port tasks is this system of tasks that you can pick up at various ports in the game. Right here is one of the port task boards. This is at the Pandemonium, I believe.
All right.
And you can see there's a few different tasks that you can pick from. Some of them are courier tasks, which is about ferrying sort of cargo from one port to another. We also sort of left in as a teaser, but this won't actually be available to you in the alpha. But there are bounty tasks as well. So yeah, you can see an example of that here. Bounty tasks will come in the future, and they will be about going to fight a monster and killing it for a certain type of drop. So a bit similar to hunter contracts in a way. You'll go fight the shark until it drops maybe like a sharp tooth that someone's looking for, and then you'll bring that back and that'll be completed. For the courier task though, let's pick
Like
one up.
hunter
And,
rumors. Okay, it's not like
start the
Slayer
meeting.
because you're hunting a piece,
So
you're
I
not
can't
hunting
actually see which
necessarily a
task
certain
you're
amount of.
picking up because your screen is super small for
Makes
me to
sense.
see. Do you want to
Oh.
explain just like the info
So-
that you're looking at?
Yeah, so I've got a couple choices here. We can see the logos at the bottom. So there's like this parrot symbol. One means the Pandemonium, and the anchor over here is Port Sarim. So this one on the left means it's got cargo at Port Sarim to come
I
to the
almost killed
Pandemonium.
myself,
So
that's
I have to
hilarious.
sail all the way up and come back down. Whereas I'm already at the Pandemonium, and this one requires, cargo to go to Port Sarim. So I'm going to do this because I've already technically done half the journey by being here.
All
Tells me
right.
what I want to do. It's one piece of cargo, and there's a bit of flavor dialogue here where Henderson is talking about his fish at Port Sarim.
Okay.
So I've selected that
So
one.
now
Ready
just
for the
sail
fish.
and that's it?
And I can view that on my captain's log, view tasks. You can see I've got one of these colorful tasks. I've got 2 slots out of 5. These are,
Oh, that's cool.
we haven't unlocked those yet.
So
let's see the
you
tasks
can
that I
take
want
several
to.
tasks as long
Remember
as they're
what it was
different
on the task list
kinds.
if I want to.
That's cool.
Oh, my hands are full. Gaming.
All right. I think
My
that's
favorite
what we
animation
saw.
ever. It's not.
Yeah.
It's an old one, but
Yeah.
like,
Him carrying the crate. That's what we saw.
got a
Like,
lot to see.
there's
over
a few clips of that. But it's just taking it. You don't have to fill up
Pause
the
it,
order or
cargo
anything.
hold. Oh, forgot.
And this little raft, that's hilarious. I love the
Well,
raft.
while you're doing this, where do you envision port tasks sitting in terms of XP? Just for the chat's awareness.
It's kind of hard to say. It's like kind of laid back in like early areas. I can just set a direction and I'm heading off. Just make sure I get the right cargo and know where I'm going. But I think it has the potential to become quite complex later on if players start chaining together. Like, cool, I'm taking 2 at this port, and I'm going to that one, taking 3 more, and now I'm going to 2. I think players could come up with these like quite clever routes where they all interconnect, and having to remember to drop this one off there and that one off there. And I'm sure Runelight will have a plugin that like, here's the route I'm following quest helper style, and you can maybe they'll make you configure and set it up. But yeah, I'd imagine it can get quite complex later on. Like it could even just be as simple as like, I'm currently at this port and I'm going to sail over in that direction to do another piece of content. And while I'm there, I might as well just check to see if there's cargo I can just take over for some XP on the way.
Awesome. Can you open up the world map just briefly for those who may not have seen it? I saw a question in chat about wanting to see where the Pandemonium is.
It's just south of Tutorial Island here. We're heading up to Port Sarim and we're almost there.
Awesome, thank you. Any other chat questions? Somebody asked about the sailing pet. We are planning on having a community poll to decide what that's going to look like, but that's not for a while yet.
All right.
Another question I have
Pets are
kept
nice.
seeing pop up in the chat is somebody asking whether XP gained in the alpha will be carrying over to the main game when sailing eventually releases. And the answer to that is that no, it won't be.
That's
The whole point
hilarious.
is this is separate to the main game. For all we know, there could be a bug when we release this alpha that lets you get 99 in a day, and we don't want that to carry over into the main game. We're going to fix that and put you back
Why?
level 1.
But why? No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
this is
An
very
alpha
much
and a
just meant for
beta
testing
never
and sort of
carries
getting
over
a
into
feel
main
for
game. It should
how
never.
it plays,
I
rather
don't even
than
think
being a
early
progress
access should
towards it
carry
when it
over, but
releases.
We estimate that there's about
hot
a
take.
couple hours of content in the alpha. We don't really expect people to stick around for too much longer than that. Obviously, you can stay on for the entire week if you want to, but we are also capping out levels at level 30 just to kind of disincentivize someone trying to get 99 on this very, very temporary game mode, so to speak.
Cool. So I think you completed that port toss, right? Sorry, I missed it because I was looking at chat. If you have completed it, we're going to show off ship customization next with Mod Lenny. So take it away, Mod Lenny.
So obviously you've seen just now that Husky's been sailing around on a little raft. And this is a slight
Huge
tangent to the
raft.
customization system, but we've got various different boats that are going to be available. I believe there's going to be 2 available to you in this alpha, and that you'll see throughout this stream as well. But the boats just aren't solely what you get at face value. It's not just you buy a boat and that's it for life. There's going to be all sorts of ways that you can upgrade it. You'll be able to upgrade the very core parts of your boat, the hull, the keel, the mast, all of those sorts of things, and you'll be able to build various different things on it. You've just seen now Husky's been playing around with the cargo hold on the raft for the sake of these port tasks, but there is plenty more that you'll be able to build on your boat in the shipyard. So if you head over there now, when you come into the shipyard, you'll be put on a port, or on a pier rather, with access to your boat.
Scary.
And there are sort of 2 key ways that you can customize your boat.
I should have
There
teleported
is a
out there.
schematics board up on the pier itself, and that's what you'll be using to customize the sort of very core of your boat. This is effectively the things that your boat can't be without, so the hull, keel, mast, the steering sort of facilities for it. These aren't things that you'll be able to go and remove. They're always there. It's just a matter of how good the one that you've got built on your boat is.
Okay.
In this alpha, there's
So you just upgrade it,
2 keels,
but you can't
2 hulls and 2
upgrade it.
masts. You have different sort of boat stats. They've got some functionality that I'm sure Husky will go into later on as we go through the stream. And then over on the boat itself, we should have, I think, 3 different hotspots available.
That's what it sounds like to me, at least.
Yep. So on the boat, it'll be very familiar to you if you just done some construction in your player-owned house. There will be these ghost hotspots available. You can go up to them. You can build whatever you want in them within reason. There's certain things that are allowed in each one, but it's not just one spot is one facility. You have different choices of what you can build in each spot. Similarly, you'll be able to go and remove them and then change them out for whatever else you want. In the alpha, we've got this chest that Husky's just been interacting with to get yourself some materials. We're not expecting you to, have all these materials banked or go and get planks in the alpha. That's not what we want you spending your time doing. We want you spending your time
Actually doing the skill, of course.
So planks, nails, all those sorts of things will just be available there for the taking.
So, that would suck if you would have to do everything.
Right now.
What people want to do is like get on it, see how you get experience and stuff like that.
Yep. Another has,
or at least that's what I want to do. It's like how the actual process of leveling it is.
A salvaging hook and I believe a cannon.
Yeah.
Yes. The cannons will not be functional in this alpha. They're there so you can sort of build them and see how they are on a boat. You'll be able to sail around looking cool with a cannon on the side of your boat, but you won't actually be able to shoot it just yet.
Oh, darn it.
Work underway for that, but it's not something that's quite ready for this alpha. I think that kind of sums up customization.
Thank you, Lenny. Yeah, just to echo that, I did see some comments in the chat when we were sailing around about when are people going to be able to take down monsters. Ship combat was something that we did want to get into the alpha, but as it's not ready and polished just yet, we're more likely going to look at including that.
Yeah, so what we're going to see is the movement and their general concept of how they want to do the leveling route for it.
But Elena mentioned
which is fine.
tasks earlier. And the idea behind that is that you would have
I don't see that as a
combat
problem. I
involved
think
with bounty tasks.
it just it
just
can't
to break
feel
up
clunky,
the
though
sort of
I feel like it
gameplay, make
will,
it a bit more
and
interesting, make it a bit more fun.
it can't feel like a minigame.
But yeah. All right, thank you so much, Lenny, for explaining ship customization.
You just can't.
When you're ready, Husky, let's go back to the captain's log and we will talk about sea charting. Sea charting is something I'm particularly excited to talk about because very, very early on when we were playtesting sailing with our NDA group, this was the training method that made it feel very much like a skill to a lot of
That's
people.
what I want to see.
It's going to appeal to a wide variety of players, whether you just like ticking things off or whether you enjoy just exploring and having fun looking at things in the environment. So yeah, let's talk about sea charting. In your cargo hold, I believe, Husky, you just made a cargo hold, right? For your boat?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. So if you hop on the small boat and just get the tools for me, and then we'll talk about the captain's log when you've got the tools in. Cool. Awesome. So this is your cargo hold that Husky's just kindly built for us. And within this cargo hold, for the purposes of the alpha, if you click that little duck button in the bottom left, you'll be able to retrieve the tools that you need for sea charting. We will also take another look at the captain's log, if that's okay, Husky, and we will start some sea charting activities. So I love the duck button responses in the chat. Cool. So this is your captain's log, and this is what you'll be needing to do for sea charting. Very much like similar to what you may experience, I don't know, with an achievement diary or something. It has a list of tasks that you'll want to complete.
Okay.
Now we're going to want to filter it by C group. So if we look at the C group, Bay of Sarim only. Okay, perfect. It's already filtered. Sorry, it's really tiny text for me to read. We're going to start completing all of the tasks for the Bay of Sarim, which is the starter area. So we're going to start with the spyglass, and we're going to go to the Wizard's Tower and see what it does.
See the indicator there that I'm in roughly the right spot. And let's look through our spyglass.
Wow. So you're getting to see the area in a way that you've never seen it before. And what I love about this is you're going to have this for almost every single sea group area. You're going to have
It's alright, I
to
guess.
chart, and you get a really, really nice notification once you've completed that.
But I guess what you do is you
So,
go to
yeah,
a
let us know
place.
in the chat what you think about it. I personally love it. So
I
that
think
is
that
one
maybe
button
not
in
was not the
mix
best
using the
example,
spyglass. There's tons
but I
more.
understand.
We're now going to chart.
Okay, so you
what
actually
objects
look
see. This
through the
activity
spyglass.
doesn't
Okay,
actually
okay.
require a tool.
Yeah, who
We're gonna have a
I've seen.
treacherous rock just above
I've seen that just like who
Husky
voted for
and
this
a
shit.
note on the captain's log.
Oh,
Very treacherous. See the wizards
that's
nearby? They don't look like
hilarious.
they're up to any good. Treacherous
The
rock
rock.
formation.
The
Let's
rock is
see what it is.
definitely part of their evil plans.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Take a note of that.
People saying like who voted this shit.
Noting it down. So again, like really simple.
Okay, that was
cute
cool.
exploration
But you
activities
know,
that you can
the
do
spyglass
all
thing
across the seas
was
of Gillinor. The next one, which I think chat is going to be happy about, is the current duck. Now the current duck, it might seem a little bit far-fetched, but did you know that this training method / activity is based on something that happened in real life? In 1992, an accidental spill of 28,800 rubber ducks into the Pacific Ocean provided oceanographers with the unexpected opportunity to study ocean currents. This revealed a worldwide network of currents that had previously been invisible. So, with your current duck, what you're going to want to do is pop it down at the place that you see the indicator. And then Husky is going to track the currents of the ocean by following the duck. There we go. Right, better follow it, Husky, before it swims away. The duck makes some helpful quacks as well, just in case you lose him.
You can disable the hint arrow as well in the options if you want. We've had people hit or miss on whether they like having a hint arrow or not.
Awesome. I'm seeing some real positivity in the chat. There's some question marks that I can see, but I promise you, you will learn to love the duck. Okay, the duck stays. It has to stay.
Twitch chat said it had to be a real duck, right? They literally determined that last time we polled this. We were planning on this being a mechanical duck.
Yeah, that's true. It did have the most hype when we did a gameplay stream like a month or so
Let's see,
ago,
let's
and
see.
we did
From
like
what
it,
I'm
so
looking at, I'm
stays.
not really
Definitely,
pumped about
definitely.
it. I mean, it's something different, but
Right,
some in a
so
game.
yeah, as we are
They could have just
going into
added
ducks,
cool
does anybody
rewards
have
to
any
it, and that's
questions
it.
so far on what we showed off for sea charting? I'm looking at the Twitch chat now. Let me know if I can ask the devs any questions. Just relating to charting for now, if that's okay.
While you're looking for questions, I just want to say that one of my favorite things about charting is sort of like the realism of it. We know that in real life, sailors at sea, like it's incredibly important for them to know the waters that they're sailing in. A lot of the time, these days at least, like they put up buoys and stuff like that to indicate whether there's any dangers in the sea or anything like that. But that knowledge of like this is a dangerous current or there's a reef under here that you don't want to hit with your boat and that kind of stuff is really important. So it really does thematically tie into sailing quite well, and it's understandable how that knowledge makes you a better sailor.
You got the duck, Husky.
We did get the duck.
Awesome. I saw some questions about PvP and reward space, which I'll hopefully be able to answer at the end. There was another question about what happens when you bump into land. I don't know if you can demonstrate that at some point, Husky, but we have worked on our... Okay, awesome. Right, so we are now at the mermaid activity. So this is another sea charting activity. This is a puzzle that the mermaid's going to give you. And once we figure out the puzzle and help the mermaid, she will assist us by letting us go underwater so we can record sea depth. So, chat, if you're able to, can you check out the puzzle and let us know the answers to these questions? Husky, if you can read it out because it's way too small for me to see right now.
I need to wear my diving equipment first. Cool. So this mermaid is saying she'd like to make some of our land food. Can you tell me the raw ingredients and tools I need to make an apple pie? Don't worry about water. I have plenty of that. Puzzle has 3 answers. You need to tell me all of them.
Okay, chat, what's the first one that we're going to put in?
Someone said fish for an apple pie. Which
all
fish?
right, so you can try the fish.
Someone said apple and pie.
Apple and pie. Well, probably start with an apple. That's probably a good bet. Start with a cooking apple. The second answer.
Cooking apple.
See if you... I see a lot of flour. I see
Flour.
copper. I see copper ore. I'm not right sure.
Vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract.
That's going to be a good pie.
A good bit of cinnamon. We have flour, apples. What's the final one?
Brown sugar. A vial of blood, bro. What kind of apple pies are you eating?
Someone said duck.
You are not putting the current duck into the pie.
I've seen chat split. Is it the pie dish or the pie shell?
A dish, I think.
I see more dishes.
Dish.
I think I see more dishes. Oh, brilliant. We got it right, chat.
What did I do with
I
that?
think Mod Kieran spent 20 minutes doing this. So we're all collectively smarter than Mod Kieran.
Creator of the Inferno, guys.
Bro, I was super scared. I thought I had lost my mage's book for some reason.
Awesome. Okay. So there is another one that we want to show you. Husky, if you want to just sail on through.
Into the land, you said?
Oh yeah, show us what it's like when you collide with land for chat.
Just kind of stops. I can kind of wiggle my way off it. but like, yeah,
Okay, it
depending
stops.
on the angle.
If you hit at an angle as well,
I
some
mean,
might be kind of just
from
tired
seeing
of
here, I don't think the
kind of
movement's
depends on
back,
how
but
you.
I do see him
Awesome.
Yeah,
clicking
we,
a
we
lot.
kind of we kind of opted to not make it too punishing. I know that in real life, if you crash your boat into
Mhm.
land, that's probably not a good idea. And while it will slow you down here, other than that, it's not like your boat's gonna take damage or anything. We felt like that would be a bit too punishing for a basic movement type in the game. That, long term, you might be spending
Oh
lots of
shit.
hours at sea, and being able to sort of AFK and just head off in a direction, for example, can be really
We'll see.
beneficial. We didn't want to punish that.
I also see
Nah,
some
fuck
people
that.
in the chat sort of questioning, how's this going to look when you've got 200 people? And since you've got a few other people in this world sailing around, can you show what it looks like when you sort of get too close to another boat?
Yes, please, if we can.
We haven't highlighted it, but we have done it a few times. You can see in general, like if you're colliding, you'll always see your boat on top. There's a few bugs we need to work out. You'll probably see in the alpha where, like, if you're on the very edge, it sometimes flickers between them. We're aware of that, but in general, like, you'll see that your boat takes priority. But on top of that as well, we have limits as well
Okay.
to only show a number of boats. Like there's a literal limit to how many will be visible.
That's alright.
Hopefully this does enough to kind of show, because like we had a lot of early prototype stuff where I click on stuff and already you can see like I can't really misclick on people's things. Like there's no like left clicks. Like my cargo hold is a left click. I can examine their stuff, but there's no actual like option on it. So a lot of things we've just done to just in general, you'll see other people's boats, but right now you can't really interact with them.
Awesome.
God.
Now, can
I would
we?
love better feedback than "This ain't it, Chief," by the way, from Twitch chat. Like stellar feedback. Whoever said that, Anyway,
Can we show off the crates just because I'm conscious that I really want to get to the Barracuda trials soon. I think a lot of people who are doubting sailing might have their minds changed with that. So yeah, we'll show off the crate. So this is something we don't want to spoil. As you can see in the chat, it's what does it say, Husky? I can't read. It's so tiny.
Steve Beanie on the Pandemonium might be able to help you with prying open crates, and I'm highlighting a quest called Prying Times, or mini quest.
Okay.
Mini quest. So
Cool.
leave chat to explore that in the alpha.
Cool. That's one thing we will not spoil for you, chat. So for the crates, you're just gonna have to find out for yourself. What a warning though! Like, make sure to read the warning labels. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, the next one I'm gonna pass over to Elena. It's a little bit of a challenging puzzle that requires the highest of IQ.
I like the
So,
skill
Elena,
that
if
was
you will
like
take
you
the
would go
floor.
into whatever
I
the spirit
don't know if I'll
realm.
pick the right person for this, but I'll give it my best. Once Husky reaches it, there's going to be a weather troll. And this weather troll
And you would get
will
things to make
essentially
magic
ask
armor.
you to figure out which way the wind
That's the one I
is.
liked.
Or sorry, to try
Like
and
the
figure
magic
out
armor crafting.
the middle of the eye of the storm, essentially. So there's a weather pattern. The wind is blowing either sort of with the clock or counterclockwise, and you need to try and figure out where is the center of that wind. And she's given you a weather instrument to try and pick up sort of which direction the wind is blowing. And if you want to start checking on the wind, Husky.
Yeah, so it's saying southwest and now it's saying west. And the general tip I found, and we talked about, is the actual destination is going to be perpendicular to where it's currently telling you. So I'll stop my boat for a second. It said it was going southwest over here.
Okay, the stop is not instant.
So it's going to be in one of these two directions
Just
because we
notice
don't know
that.
which way the wind is spinning. It's one of them, but the actual, thing's going to be perpendicular.
Like it slows down. It
west,
doesn't just.
So it's one of these two directions, and because we know it was one of
Which
these
was a
two,
small
or one of
gripe
these
that I
two,
had with what they
my
had said,
bet is
so
it's
that's
somewhere
good.
north of me right now, just from those two readings. That's kind of how it works. Although, let's face it, like there's a bunch of people who are going to really enjoy this, and this content's for them. This content isn't for everybody. There's some people who are really going to get with these puzzles, and I'm sure someone will make like a lore thing that's like mapping the winds of Gillinor, right? That's going to be quite fun. But for most of you, you're probably just going to look up where it is on the wiki, right? You're just going to be, okay, cool, I sailed there, took the reading, and done. We know how players play. Like, let's embrace it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that because we know that like that's not for everyone. So like for those people who don't actually care about solving this one yourself, it is a static location. It's not like it changes for everyone. So once one person in the community figures it out and decides to share that with the rest of you, you can just check the wiki. It's fine.
So it's saying the wind's going northwest, so it's going to be either this way or this way, but based on everything we've said, I think it's looking like it's going to be north of Krendor. Spoiler, I probably know the answer because I failed this a bunch of times yesterday and had to have it walked through to me.
No shame in that.
I think like a lot of people will point out though, and they'll go like, "So we found it. Let's go back to the troll." And I think people go like, I've seen chat comments like, "Who's this for? The 1%?" Yeah. Guess what? There's lots of different content for lots of different 1% or 10% or 20%. The whole point with sailing is to create a huge like diversity of content to appeal to different people. I think charting the sea is just one of those like weird free open things. Like let's just have like random things for you to do at sea. And there's a bunch of people who are just going to find that exploration and randomness really fun. And there are some people who are just going to AFK at shipwreck salvaging on mobile at work and do their grind that way. And there's some people who are going to be doing like Barracuda trials.
That sounds like what I'll do probably.
Some of the more active stuff, and that's totally fine. Like it's good to have stuff that multiple people like various different players.
Well, maybe. I mean, it depends on the experience, right? Like if this active things give more experience,
we're only on our
people are gonna do
training
this
method right now. We still have 2 more to talk to you guys about. So, even if something that we currently haven't showed you doesn't look like, even if something we currently have showed you doesn't look like something you would necessarily love, there's still 2 more methods. So
oh my god, leave the javelins there.
And make
That's
sure
fine.
that you try it for yourself in the alpha, because watching something still isn't the same as playing it for yourself. GZ, by the way, on completing that one, Husky. Speaking of training methods, should we talk about salvaging now with Modelina?
Yeah,
we've got a while to get there.
Do you want to ask any questions or anything else in the meantime? Because yeah, Husky will take a little bit to get there.
Okay, yes. I'm going to go into my question pile. We've been compiling some of your Twitch track questions, so I hope you guys are okay with me just quick firing them. Can players sail to Krendor, Temporos, etc.?
They can sail there, but they can't necessarily dock there. So we can show you Temporos a bit later. Spoilers, the Barracuda trial is going to be near that, so that'll be a good way to check that out. For Krendor, I don't think there's a way to dock there at the moment, so if you want to open the world map real quick, Husky. On the world map itself, there are icons for every place where you can dock, so for Port Sarim and Pandemonium and Musa Point, like we mapped out a bunch of these all around the world, and there will be new islands with these little icons on as well, so that's a really good way for you to check like whether you can actually sail somewhere or not. That said, like you can sail most places, it's just whether you can dock there or not.
Gotta go around the world clicking on the docking point to flash them all. There's a lot of stuff here that's like you guys are gonna be trapped in the alpha in this cage right now.
Another question I have is, can players do activities like fletching and alking when they sail?
So
No, I would imagine yes.
Let's test it. Live testing.
They should be able to.
If not, that's just XP waste.
Chat with the alking noise.
Sorry, I was just making sure I understood this question before I read it. Will sailing allow access to any content that was previously locked behind other things like quests? Thinking specifically about Mauritania or an alternative way to get trouble brewing outfits as it fits the sailing theme.
So you will, be able to be on a boat that goes to those areas. There might be sort of restrictions in place, waters that are too dangerous for you to travel through, but you won't be able to get off of your boat there. Even if, you're on somebody else's boat, you're on a friend's boat, they sail over to Mauritania and they've got all the quest unlocks to do it, they might be able to get off the boat there. You won't be able to. You'll, be still bound by whatever restrictions you've got in place already.
Cheers,
I like that.
Right, we are at the
you don't have to skip the content.
So I have more questions to ask, but we'll leave it for afterwards. Elena, if you want to take it away here.
Yeah. So the salvaging is a really laid back method. Husky mentioned like playing it on mobile earlier. I think that's probably like what I'm gonna be doing. Um, it's all about just using your salvaging hook that we built earlier to get some useful bits from these shipwrecks out at sea. And there might be lots of different stuff on these shipwrecks. So some of them might have, resources. Some of them might have some like unique loot for you to find as well. There could be lots of stuff. But the point is, when you salvage it, you actually only get salvage in your inventory, and you have to sort through the salvage at a salvaging station at a port to actually figure out what's in there. Um, on the bright side, though, what you can do is you can put some of the salvage in your cargo hold, so you can actually carry quite a lot of it. And I think upgrading your cargo hold as well is a really good way to make this even more AFK, because you just get longer and longer trips as you level up. We also want to upgrade the salvaging hooks. So in the alpha, you can have a bronze and an iron one, I believe. And both of these will sort of, these are just examples of what those tiers will be like, but we expect to follow the traditional metal tiers. So like it will go all the way up to dragon.
Can you destroy the salvage and drop it if you don't want to take it back to a salvaging station?
You will
Yep.
be able to, yeah. I don't know if you're able to in the alpha, potentially. No.
Okay, so even if it's not available in the alpha, it's the intention for launch, right? To be able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, we very much want this to be very similar to, like traditional gathering methods. So like, if you think about woodcutting, for example, some people are going to bank their logs, some people are just going to want to drop them. Yeah.
I saw a question about clues. Is there like a potential to like get clues this way?
Yes.
So from salvage.
I've literally plugged clues into all the drop tables already.
Oh, okay, cool. So clues will come from salvage. That's cool.
But that happens when you clean the salvage, right? So you have to like go back and or sort through the salvage.
Yes, that's true. On these boats, this is like the most basic cargo hold, let's say it's called a basic cargo hold. So it has very limited storage for a reason. So we imagine like as go up, like I think like I can't see a reason why salvage isn't getting to like literally 300-400 inventory slots in some cases, right? Like, you've got a big boat, it should be able to store a lot of stuff.
Would there
Whoa.
be new
Being raided.
clues or not? Like, would the clues exist in the ocean or on any of the sailing content, or would it be mostly existing clues just tied into salvage?
I fucked up.
As with every area expansion, I think there will probably be a few new clue locations, but
So it's just weird.
the majority will just be like traditional clues. There's not going to be a difference between like a clue that drops at sea versus a clue that drops elsewhere.
Okay, lovely. So we're sorting through the salvage. What kind of loot are we looking at? Like, will this be particularly lucrative, or what's
Probably
the
not
XP and
for the
rewards?
Probably not for the example I've used here. I talked to this a lot of people like internally. Like, this is the first shipwreck you're salvaging. Think about the first tree that you would cut, or like the grimy herb of like Guam, right? I think like I pegged this at around like 200 gold ish per salvage, like in terms of drops and things. That's probably like obviously more generous than a log, and obviously like there's a bunch of supplies that are attached to that value, but like in general, like we're looking at a bunch of flavorful things and then a bunch of shipbuilding stuff. So if you want to get some of the higher tier stuff to build ships, maybe you want to start salvaging from shipwrecks that are higher level, and those ships might have been made out of. So that's like a good way to start getting those. So while like these drops themselves are not very good from the first early shipwrecks, maybe try salvaging from some of the higher level ones, right?
Awesome. Okay. Do we have any more questions or things to cover when it comes to salvaging before we head on into our very first Barracuda trial?
Barracuda
We've
trials.
completed all the shipwreck salvaging tasks. So for you collection log people, if you want to complete all the tasks in the alpha, there's like a progress tracker here.
Wonderful. I saw somebody ask about sweaty training methods, so I think that's the perfect transition, Husky, for you to take this away. What do
Cool.
the sweats have to look forward to in the alpha?
So what people really want to see is this like really hella hype anchor animation. If I, that no, I'm joking. But this animation is really sick. Let's just show that off. It will just stop your boat functionally, no matter what your sails are doing. So something I did on the slide there, I'm not sure many people noticed while Lenny was talking about ship customization, is I specifically made sure that I had an oak hull and oak sails. These have like stats that we don't quite show yet because this is all coming soon. But what that's done is given me a level of storm resistance and a level of rapid resistance, and that's going to be important for this area down here. So if I open the world map, probably that cloud probably doesn't hit me. We can see that there's a big storm happening because, Temperos is a storm. So early game, if you try to sail here without having an oak hull or an oak sail, oak sail specifically for the storm, you're going to just start taking damage. And while like on your raft that's got 30 HP, that's probably, not a good idea. We've had people capsize in the quest and the sailing alpha, which is quite funny because they decided to explore. You can imagine that like this is just like a soft barrier. You know that a lot of the content 1 to 30 is going to be in this area. And eventually you can come back and start to look at what this dangerous area is. But I've got an oak sail, so I'm not taking passive damage. I'll still take damage from these storm clouds, if I show that, because, lightning hitting a boat is often not very good, so let's not do that. But notably, these rapids would have damaged me as well if I didn't have a strong hull. We can see here if I examine these. We'll tear apart the weakest hulls. And this is relevant because this is the playground of our first Barracuda trial. Now, the Barracudas are kind of like the thrill seekers of the world. These are the people who like sailing in really dangerous areas and like proving how good they are at sailing in these dangerous areas. So we can see one of the trial masters here, Rum-Ralph. He's got a much cooler boat than I do. Obviously, maybe a client size isn't appropriate for people to see the dialogue, and they don't want to read it all anyway, because this is the experience most people do in the alpha, is they go, quick, let me spacebar through, try the content, and then not know what the content, what I'm supposed to do in the content. Players be players. I'll try and walk the players through this who are watching this. So, the story of this trial generally is that there's a problem in the world. So we can see here that if I'm a rich, wealthy merchant, for example, and I am, let's just say I'm over here. Let's just say I'm over here by Port Phasmatis, and I'm going to send my stuff down south. I want to get to the Pandemonium or to Port Sarim, and I need to go all the way around this area just to get through. That's not very good, right? But of course they don't want to go to brave this storm because Temperos is here. So from the idea of what you're doing here, we'll see when we sail down there's going to be a barge over here. This is where other boats can drop off their supplies. I really want to create these like cool NPC boats that come and drop stuff off, and you'll just see them as part of the world. And there's another boat up here run by the Barracudas, and these guys are sort of like the point. So you're tasked for just gathering supplies from the south and taking them back up. And you're going to be risking yourself going through the storm. And the reason the Barracudas do this is like twofold. First of all, they get to make some money from these people who, want to get their supplies delivered the shortest route. And second of all, they get to test their skills and be sort of thrill-seeking because they want any reason they can to sail through dangerous environments, and this just provides a good reason and sort of helps solve a problem in the world.
I am going to be taking
You
2
as a
per
player
pots
are
next
going
time.
to maybe
I haven't
suggest
gone
that
through
you want
one
to try
yet.
going through one of these and trying one
I'll
of
see
these
if I can do
trials,
this.
and depending on how good you are, you'll receive a rank. So
With just one
that's the preamble
dose
stuff. Let's talk about the actual
and
content.
there's a little bit of food.
I probably actually
It's
want to
little
first
itty bitty
clarify,
of
this
food.
is going to be different from if for those players who have followed every single blog and you saw what we originally were posing, they had nice infographics. This isn't the what's it called, the Karamjan run before where you're making a cocktail. The long and short of it is that like we really tried to make that design work. We were really excited about it. We designed all the components for it, and then play tested it. Like I was play testing it myself. I was like, look, I'm being tasked with designing this, and it just felt off. I didn't like how it felt. I grabbed a bunch of designers, got them in a room and said, hey, can you play test this? Maybe it's just me. Feels like we've done what we wanted to design, and it just didn't feel good. And we all kind of agreed. And then because I work with such a brilliant team, they helped workshop an idea that we've now play tested with a bunch of players and NDA players, and everyone's like, actually, this kind of slaps. So here's hoping that's what the rest of the community will think. I'm going to stop toot my own horn a little bit and just show. But you have some options here. First of all, I can't attempt Shark and Marlin because I'm a noob who hasn't completed Swordfish. We can see some of the objectives here. So I have to get whatever one of these are. I need to get 14 crates, and I need to do it in 2 minutes. If I complete this, I'll get 400 sailing XP. And if I complete it for the first time, I'll get an additional 2,500. So there's a little bit of like an incentive for people to just complete these for the first time. There's also a reward for doing it for the first time. These are all placeholder just items right now. I promise the real ones will be awesome, because that's what the exam in tech says. And if you're just feeling a bit nervous, or you want to try just like, test how it is without the time pressures, you can try on ranked if you want. There's a few less crates, you'll still get some XP. But let's give this a shot. So we can see here there's a HUD in the top left, kind of just indicating the time, the goals, my target time. There's a button up here for resetting or quick resetting, because if I'm bad and tilt and mauled at how bad I am at doing things, then I want to wait quick.
Oh yeah, I think 2 prayer pots is more than enough.
These rapids are making my boat go faster. They'll continue to stack up to a limit, so I'm incentivized to keep trying to go through rapids. This is the easiest trial. The easiest trial, first of all, because we way more on launch. And it's also the easiest rank of the easiest trial.
Like 2 of these.
Going to be incredibly difficult, but like
2 of these.
Trying to understand how turning circles work.
1 of these.
Just click that, don't go through the storm, come over here.
Recoil.
And also people are considering their pathing through. I've gone anti-clockwise, some people go clockwise. When they grab these supplies, the projectile doesn't hit the boat because I need a new engine command to make it do that properly. And we're just going to see that we're going through this. So this is fairly straightforward, but bear in mind that I now have an upgraded boat from when I first started sailing. If you try this on a raft, your top speed is much lower. So as a result, this trial does become significantly harder. I have been able to complete the Swordfish rank barely on a raft. Like, I had literally 1 second to spare. I went through that storm cloud, I got hit, so my speed dropped quite a bit for those of you who noticed, so I need to build that up again. But there's generally a good amount of leeway as long as you were upgrading your boat.
Oh my goodness. I was using the wrong potion. The wrong prayer, sorry.
I collected all 14 supplies because I'm a gamer who knows where they all are, and I'll do this. Now, I think this is one of those interesting things where just watching this is very different from playing it, as with most things in sailing. You're watching someone who has just done it a bunch and it looks easy, but I've seen like some pretty top players struggle for their first half an hour with some of this content, just sort of coming to grips with how the boat is. I've also been steering boats for months now, right? So it looks pretty easy. But the truth is that like it's not supposed to be challenging for someone who's had experience like me until we get to Marlin. I say that hoping I don't choke on Shark right now. We can see now that like Shark is a bit different. I now need to do 2 laps of this, and I've got even more crates. So we can see there's a few more crates here. As a player, like, am I choosing to dip in here to the left? Am I choosing to go to the right here? Am I going to go for that rapid or not? Remember, it's a circle, so the wider my turning arc is, the more distance I'm taking, right? So players are weighing this up. Obviously, you don't want to crash, so I'm going to do that now. Like, obviously, if I crash and stop, like, I've actually just lost all my speed boosts completely. So that's not good. So now I want to reset, which I can do quickly. So this is like just a piece of content where I think like the biggest thing with balancing a piece of content like this is it's very, I guess the variance can be quite huge as far as like terms.
I didn't use any prayer potions there.
Is that if you're just really bad at this, if we've done our balancing right, this should probably be like worse XP than for you than doing something like poor tasks. You know, because you're going to be failing, you're not going to be making time. You know,
or that was a really fast skill.
In like 6 minutes
131. That was a really fast skill.
XP per hour.
Makes sense.
For someone who's consistent at doing it, and who doesn't forget to trim their sails like I just did, then those people should hopefully get more XP per hour than otherwise. So it's hopefully just like a choose your training method, identify what playstyle is best for you, and there's a lot of reward there for getting better at steering a boat. So I'm going to try and remember the path through here. I think I want to take this one, grab this crate, and then come up. If I remember correctly.
Huskier Gaming, I was just wondering if I could ask, how do you feel about comparisons to agility and sepulcher?
I think Sepulcher's the thing that players will compare it to a lot. And I think like it's weird because Sepulcher is a training method for agility, but I also don't think it's necessarily like identifies as agility really strongly, because agility is usually just click on green box and a lap for like 90% of the other training methods, right? I think it's an additional piece of content that helps you train agility. And I think the biggest difference with this and Sepulchre is this becomes like slightly more solved. I can imagine a YouTuber goes, here's the route and here's the rapids you want to go through. And while like that's true for Sepulchre has a lot of moment-to-moment tick-perfect tile gameplay that's really hard to replicate in a boat because you're just a bigger entity, right? There's so much more variance. But I think the thing that's very different with this and Sepulchre is like Sepulchre, you can replicate player movement pretty consistently. It's just like remember the tiles you need to go to. But because like just a slight change in like another one tick later turn or like turn for this long or turn at this angle, you're actually playing on quarter tiles a lot, if that makes sense. Because of the way turning arcs work. So it's way harder to be consistent. And then there's also the fact that I think people who are trying to optimize this, like they're going to try and do what I did there and try and catch just the edge of that and fail, right? Because they didn't technically collide with it. You know, it's pretty... the thing with a tile-based game like old school RuneScape is there's usually like breakpoints where people will like, okay, technically at this angle you can barely catch it. The best thing we've done is said it's pretty truthful to like, if your boat actually touches it, you are going to grab it. So that's the best we can kind of do. But even with that mistake there, hopefully that's not too much of a mistake where I missed that crate. For me to hopefully just barely make this in time.
This one is cool, but it's a minigame. It's a minigame. It's not a skill. I'm not a fan of it. So far, I mean, let's see when we get to try the alpha.
Can you talk
See how it goes,
a bit
but
about the XP rates that you're thinking of putting this content at? Like, considering how intense the gameplay is, where is your head at with that?
Kind of hard to say is the truth about it. Like, it's going to be what feels right. And to be honest, like, tell you the XP rate of this trial at level 30, right? Like, players probably want to know what the top end trial is. I haven't even made that yet, right? So, like, it's hard for me to say what is fair. I think the top end trial we probably want to launch with is around level 80. And the example I've said internally is that it should probably be better than the port tasks at level 80. But the port tasks at level 90 should probably get close to those players who are like really efficient to the trial. I know that Elena on the Sebe podcast recently said like sailing's probably going to top out about 100k XP an hour. And I think like we've talked about in hindsight, it is lowballing because it's like, what can you say, right? You give it a number to a player and they're going to argue, oh, you said 150, I think it's 160. No, I think it's 180, or I think it's 200, I think it's 300. The numbers don't matter actually right now, because it won't matter until we're actually in the context of playing it and knowing what feels good. Because a lot of people who go, I just really dislike the skill, just please make it fast. As long as it's fast, I can cope. And we've always said that a skill should be fun regardless of how fast it is. Obviously, like, you don't want to be getting we don't want sailing to be a slog, right? Some skills truly are a slog. But the gameplay is what's actually
agility is a slog,
more so
straight
than
up.
just make it fast.
I might try Sepulchre next time I have to train it.
That a lot of the sailing sort of like people who did this like sailing have been saying, you know, please make it fast. And obviously the players tend to be like, give me more cookies, not less cookies, right? So
but it's also important to leave a little bit of space. Like, we don't want to make this the fastest possible skill. I keep saying this, but every other skill in the game keeps being updated. Like, we introduced Guardians of the Rift, Giant's Foundry, lots of stuff is constantly being updated. And I could see sailing being the same. It's going to be updated for years to come. And so what's really important for us
I mean, I'm
is
just
to
not a
build the
big
right
fan of it,
foundations
honestly.
right now.
It
And that
looks
means
like
that
it's a
we need little
minigame,
bit of space so that
basically.
we can actually make meaningful,
And it's supposed to be a skill.
updates in the future as well.
That's my problem with it.
Awesome. I think Husky had to relog.
Yeah, I've lost the options on Ralph for some reason, because they normally options are off in a trial.
Oh.
That's a bug I'll need to look into.
Bug report caught before the launch.
Caught before launch. We hide the option so you don't misclick him instead of the crate, and I don't know what I did differently because that's what happened.
Cool, it's fine. We're wrapping up this section anyway. Did you want to add anything, Husky?
I can log on a different account and try Marlin probably, but no, I think we just call it there to be honest. As far as like not trying Marlin, if I can't get the ops to click on him. I think players are seeing the code stuff as well, which is kind of interesting. Greenlight have been fantastic, but obviously a skill like sailing requires a huge amount of like work on their end in the client. So there's some experimental GPU stuff. I know that's covered in the blog. So basically, like that's just making sure you turn the plugin on. You actually can't see the numbers you have in the plugin. It's really cool tech. So it's just us making sure that you're going to see things properly. So you can see like the bit of the capture stuff, just to make sure. It's a really cool feature by one of the engine devs who worked on it. I'm gonna try leaving the boat and come back to see if the ops come back. But
No, all right. We've caught the bug before the launch, so we've got this.
we actually use Dreamlight not because our client is bad. We actually mostly have been doing sailing on our client, for whoever said that in chat, right? The reason we're using Dreamlight is actually we thought for the stream this would be the most representative player experience, so we wanted to show that. And to show that it works, because some people might have been worried, like, do I need to go back to RuneScape with no plugins, you know, to try the alpha? And the answer is no, it should just work with Dreamlight.
I have lots of chat questions if it helps, if you just want to sail around and do whatever. One person just asked now, what happens when your boat's HP reaches 0? Can we talk about capsizing and how that works?
Capsize. Probably.
Do you want to try it now?
Yeah, I'll actually get on the raft because that'll be quicker because I'll just die to the storm.
Okay, we're not going to tell you what happens. We're going to show you what happens, chat.
So I want to see if that fixed the issue because I'm now curious as a developer if that fixed the bug. Oh, it did. Nice. So getting on a boat fixed it.
Okay.
But not relogging. Sick. Or maybe it just had to go away from him and come back. Yeah, I'll get on a raft and then capsize. I did think I wanted to touch on one thing as well, because I think like Barracuda Trials is insanely fun. Again, like personal bias, of course, but like chat were pointing out a lot, like, oh, this is a mini game, not a skill, right? Like
Yeah,
talking about Barracuda Trials
it feels like a mini game.
And I think that
For
was
me, it feels like a
that
minigame.
was part of why the original design was a little bit bad. Is because we were trying to stick too close to the bone of like, let's do a lot of the skilling stuff, but really fast. And one of the things that we found very quickly with that is with Barracuda Trial specifically, doing salvaging very fast or all these kind of things isn't actually like, there isn't much leeway for mistakes, right? What we wanted was something more akin to like a racing sort of style environment, and that just lended itself to more minigame-like mechanics. So it's probably not incorrect for someone to say like Barracuda Trials feels more like a minigame or is the minigame of sailing, and I think that's totally fine because a lot of skills have minigame-like components. What we didn't want is for actual core sailing to feel like a minigame, which, you know, I think like we could have a whole live stream talking for 2 hours about the definitions of skills versus minigames and what is the definition of a skill and the definition of a minigame. We've had this discussion a bunch with the community, and I've engaged with so many people, yes voters, no voters alike. And the truth is that like we all have different definitions, and we like to shoehorn our definition in when it suits our argument better. And like nobody will agree. Like Slayer is closer on the scale to a minigame than another piece of skill is, and another skill is closer to a traditional skill. And the problem we actually have with sailing, which is very nuanced, is we know that 2025 content is held to a higher standard than 2004 content. That's just a fact, right? And when you look at a boss like Yama, imagine a world where we had KQ, Dagannoth Kings, Barrows, KBD as the bosses. And then we said, here's our new update, Yama. What would players do? Well, they go, that doesn't feel like an old school boss, right? They'd be comparing it to what they know. So we're trying to imagine, what does a skill look like in 2025? Because we know that in the current climate, like a skill isn't like, it's not going to be held to the same standards as a 2004 skill, because people have rightly said, would you vote for fire making? But we also don't have that gradient to show the progression, the failings, the learnings. We're really trying to get there, but sailing has had so much player feedback. I can't stress that enough. It hasn't been visible because we've all been talking about blogs and stuff. We've had hundreds, if not thousands, of NDA playtesters give feedback. They've seen the lows, they've seen the highs, they've helped us get there. This has been the most.
It would have been cool to see this process.
And I hope that's just one of those play the
It's
alpha,
just
my health moments. I can't.
Because right now it's cool. The movement actually, which is the thing that I was mostly worried about, is
I think that's something we've done a lot.
it's alright, but the only thing skill wise, skill related for me, it has been the scavenging.
This is
Everything
such a
else
big
looks like
milestone because it's the first time that every player gets to actually try it, and it just feels so different. Like Husky and I could talk your ears off about sailing, but nothing we can say is going to compare to you actually trying it. So yeah,
I'm excited for the alpha. Let's see how it goes, but I'm not too pumped about it.
I think at that point.
I mean,
we're super keen to hear
at this point, this
what everyone
skill has to
thinks.
come,
Sorry,
right?
go on.
They've invested so much time into it.
The RuneFest sort of LAN area as well. There were plenty of people that were, watching over other people's shoulders, sort of getting the sense for the gameplay that way. But still, just them actually sitting down and playing it themselves was a whole different experience for it. I'd be talking to people afterwards and they'd say like, "Oh yeah, I was sort of watching over my friend's shoulder. It looked kind of cool." and then they actually got to play it themselves, and they're like, "Oh no, this is really enjoyable. I really like playing this."
It's funny, right? Because I think back of everything we did in refinement, and I'm like, God, what would I do differently? Because we tried really hard in refinement to design
Jesus.
everything, and it doesn't
I almost
matter.
died there.
Like it's so like the more I realize all those designs didn't matter. Like you try your best to be like, here's the full picture. We really want to give you the full picture, but in a project of this scale, it's vibes. Like some people just liked the vibes of sailing and went, yeah, you've got my vote. That vibes me. Some people really either preferred another vibe, so voted against it, or didn't vibe with it at all. But even then, some of the people who didn't vibe
Oh
with
my
sailing
goodness.
were like,
Oh
I
my
trust the team,
goodness.
so I
I
voted
got comboed
against,
the
right?
fuck out.
Skills are complex. You literally just need to get players' hands on
Oh,
them.
not again.
We couldn't let people get their hands
How
on
many
it
are we
because
at?
navigation
126.
was
Ooh,
really
we've done
hard.
quite a few
And
KC this
that's
time.
the understatement of a lifetime. We knew going into it would be hard, and we
126.
still underestimated it. Like I say, we've had highs, we've had lows, we've had all sorts of things with NTA players.
Damn, that
We're
was
really confident
lame.
that
I was
what we
just
have right now for
watching the
navigation
sailing thing
boat
and got
feels
rocked.
really good and really smooth. And now everything else we're doing on top of that is just building on more of the same. We can throw out more Barracuda trials, we can throw out more port tests, we can come up with some cool facility ideas. And then obviously there's the crewmate and combat stuff that will hopefully you guys will get to see a bit later before launch, but wasn't quite ready for this alpha. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling.
I mean, I think that the Barracuda
And
trials
say
looks
here,
cool. The
slay people.
movement,
Hopefully
which was
it
what I
shows
was
people their
more
hearts,
like worried about, does not look bad.
Your feedback, please.
I think like the charting the sea,
Husky. The only thing I would add to that, I agree
that
with
that
everything that
looks
Tim
to me like
said,
a
is
sort of
that I
completionist
would
kind of
love
thing.
if people could just keep an open mind. I think people have done an amazing job at being patient with us. And even the people who are maybe a bit more negative in the chat, like, thank you so much for even tuning in and taking a look at this. Even though
Not
your
negative, but
sort of comments
they've
aren't
got a lot of
necessarily
work left to do. But let's
constructive
see.
all
I
of the
mean,
time,
I guess
but you're
what I
willing
want to
to
get out of
engage with
this
us
alpha
is
that's
huge.
coming
So
soon
just keep an
is I
open
want to
mind,
check
try the content
I want to check out
yourself.
the movement.
It
I
opens
want to check
on
out the movement, and I
Thursday.
want to see how you get
And
experience and if it
there's
feels
nobody
like a
better than you guys at playing those sailing skills.
like a skill,
So
or
you
if
can
it
tell
feels
us
like
how you feel about it once you've actually
mini
played it
game,
and
which
not
is what
just
it looks like.
looking at it from videos and blogs and stuff. Okay.
Back to the capsizing one.
Yeah. So what happens when you capsize? Can you show us?
Yeah, so we capsize, so my boat is considered capsized. I don't know what's happening. I'll need to talk to this JMods. I think I've done some cheating to add boats and remove boats and set up for this account that some reason it's not appearing over there, but it is on here. But yeah, my boat is capsized. Retrieval costs would normally be 1,500 for this boat. We currently have a static fee for every boat, but long-term vision is to have it scale off the quality of things. Similar to Gravestone, the more expensive your boat, the higher the fee.
Oh
for the alpha,
no!
we obviously waive that
Whatever.
because you might not have access to 1,500 coins. But we can see that it's capsized, so I'm gonna go through it. He's done it. I'm gonna call the port wizard. Port wizard comes in, and they're gone. So my boat has been repaired. We can probably hope that, assuming I haven't mixed up my boat IDs with debug, that it should hopefully be here. There's the raft that I capsized, and there we go. It's back. So in general, you won't be able to capsize. I think in the quest, during the quest, we kind of just wave it and go like, yeah, the player's back. Their boat didn't capsize, because people are still coming to terms with stuff. But yeah, you will just have to pay and you'll get your boat back, and it'll come back at whatever boat you do it. Shipwrights are these like generally just really cool service people that like, even if I like don't just teleport into thin air, I believe I should just even be able to ask them to like retrieve a boat. So this boat stopped the Pandemonium, and we wave it in here, so we're going to waive the costs, get the short wizard, and suddenly my boat's teleported up here. It doesn't take your cargo with you, because we know that's an abuse for port tasks where people could teleport their cargo up. Your cargo would be lost if I had any, but just in general, like these are like really cool service people. Like if your boat's stuck, if it's capsized, if it's lost at sea, all of these extra things, like these are the people who can get it back. So we can see that, I've got this boat now at Port Sarim.
Does this count for hardcore? So if you die and you capsize as a hardcore Ironman,
no, it's completely safe for hardcores if you capsize, but beware, you will respawn at dock with 1 hit point, so don't attack a seagull.
Okay.
You're gambling if you attack a seagull with 1 hit point.
But sorry, I should clarify, if you die on your boat, is it treated differently? So you haven't capsized, you just die on your boat to maybe an NPC. How would you treat that, Husky?
Yeah, so if a pirate comes on your boat or an NPC comes on and stabs you, that's a death. Like your actual character dies. If your boat sinks, that's a safe death.
cool. Yep, just
Tell
clearing
me, tell me you've not watched Nightmare Mode without telling me you've not watched Nightmare Mode, Husky. Come
I
on,
know.
seagulls can't damage you.
True.
that.
But yeah, there's other cool stuff for the alpha. There's now a bank here. This won't be in live, but we're actually locking you to port Serim and all the ports. I'm sure someone will find a way to break out. If you do break out, you will just get teleported back, similar to anyone who's experienced a league. But
What do I think of this? I mean, let's see. Let's give it a shot.
once I don't return, it'll put me.
Again, we're gonna be getting
Are
the
we
alpha
ready
soon.
for some chat
Let's see.
questions? Because I've just realized we've only got 15 minutes left of this stream. Can I just quick fire some at you guys, if that's okay?
Do it.
Okay. First question: why should players play this alpha? Tell us why it's important.
It's
No.
because, as the chat is demonstrating, people are very polarized on this. There are a lot of people that feel very strongly one way or the other. And
It's important.
We want to make it.
It's really
good,
important.
not just for
It's gonna
people
be the
that want
newest
sailing,
skill.
we
It's
make it
gonna
good for
set like
everyone.
the standard for
So,
the next
the feedback that
skills.
we get
Like
from this alpha is really valuable to us.
once this skill comes in, it's
We want you
implemented.
guys to
People
have
are
this
gonna
shit
want to
still.
accept other ones. So
Awesome. Anyone want to add anything, by the way?
I just wanted to say that it's such a big update, right? Like this is
yeah,
I keep saying it, but it's the first ever skill that we're doing. And you have the opportunity to actually shape the future of old school by participating and giving feedback. Like the individual bits in this alpha, like whether or not we're including Barracuda trials, like that's not being polled. So if you hate one of them or you love one of them, you need to let us know so that we know whether to keep it or whether to scrap it, right? Like we can still change a bunch of this, but we won't know what to keep and what not to keep unless you guys tell us what you like and don't like.
that makes sense.
Gameplay speaks louder than words. It really does. We've had so many blogs, we've had so many live streams trying to talk, trying to show, trying to do this. It doesn't matter. You need to get your hands on it. You really, really do. How many times have you seen a streamer play a game and go like, God, that looks really bad? Then you've got to get to grips and go, actually, there's something here that I kind of like, or vice versa, right? And that feedback's really important. It's been a long while to get here, and I guess I'm just really hopeful that the alpha's like a solid like reset. I guess where hopefully people now just actually understand what sailing is. I still read comments today that sailing is instance, or that sailing's going to do this when it very clearly doesn't, right? So, but again, like we made an update in blog 4 and someone didn't read it, right? That's the hopefully like reset of a base where like people just actually understand what the skill's about. And hopefully, like selfishly as a developer, that'll mean the discussions can hopefully be a bit more leaning towards the talk about the content, right? I know that anytime we talk about sailing,
The Barracuda trial seems cool.
What is a skill? What is a mini game?
But it does feel like a mini game, honestly.
The game? Like, I don't want a skill, so I'm still say scrap it, right? Those are just muddying the waters to feedback on the actual content itself. But it's still important that we know people don't like it. Like, we don't want to just discard it that way. But like, when we start talking about like the new skill discussion, it's one of those things where it's like, well, guys, that's why we had a really long process, right? Being like, do you even want a skill period? 80% plus. Do you want sailing in the game? 72, I think. Like, we had to go through those steps first, like before we touched any piece of code, and now we're here. Maybe we can start talking a bit more about the actual content and if the content itself is good, right?
Fantastic. I saw a lot of questions about polling for sailing, so I'm happy to take the next question. Lots of people have questions about whether we're going to get more polls.
Oh, what was that?
And the answer to that is yes. You will
Oh
get more
man, that
polls
was
for
fucked,
sailing.
dude.
There's a lot of additional content coming in that
Damn.
we want to add, either new islands, places of interest at sea, anything that
That was not
interacts
cool.
with existing game
I have
content.
no idea how I died there,
like
honestly.
existing skills,
I'm gonna have to look at that shit after.
Consulted with the community.
I had
needs to be
eaten.
polled. I'm not planning.
I don't want
on
to waste the
having
Zulrah
another
teleport
poll
to like
sailing
go get my
itself,
shit
as
back.
That's already passed. But we're using the alphas. We're using a future
Nah,
beta.
man.
We're using
Well, I can
all
probably
of the
go
feedback
straight
that
in
we get,
again.
and we're staying
I
on
had
top
all
of
my
it.
supplies and everything.
So make sure that you leave your feedback in those survey
We started with
responses,
100 KC.
engage
We're at
with us,
128.
so that I can continue to
We still got a while
relay
to
your
go for the
feedback,
stream,
to
so
the dev
hopefully
team,
hoping to get some more
and
levels.
wider. Anyone want to add anything about that before we move on to the next question?
I was gonna board. Oh, that would have fucked me.
Cool. So will players get to go to new islands in the alpha? We're looking at one right now. This is the Great Conch.
So, oh, you
you go,
take it,
Elena.
Husky.
I've spoken a ton. You please take it. Give my voice a rest.
Fair. All good. So yes, there will be a few islands that you can go to. The first one you'll go to is the Pandemonium, like I mentioned right at
Let me
the
just
start.
restock.
So
Why
that's
not?
quite key in the
Just
introductory
food.
quest. There will be the odd little island here and there for you to explore as well within the sort of contained alpha area. We've very much built these barriers around so that you can't go to the entire sea, but there's quite a lot for you to explore still. So that one in particular we like to call Dog Nose Island just for the shape of it. I don't recall what we call this one though.
Isle of
Um,
Bones
Oh,
and
she
Star
saw
Island.
stuff.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I can read the text.
Uh,
And then this one is Last Light. I can't remember if they're all dockable, but I think they are.
I believe so, yeah. On the
Let's just
Conch,
say one of these.
that is the one that you actually cannot go to in the alpha. We're kind of saving that one for a bit later. One of the reasons is that they will also be introducing, hopefully at least, I mean, you'll get to vote on this in a poll in the future, but we're hoping to introduce the Tortugan storyline, which is the Tortugans are a new type of people. They are a species. They live on that island, and by doing a few quests,
Turtle
you may
people?
be able to access that island.
Fantastic. I hope you guys are excited as we are. The next question I have, if it's okay, sorry, because we've only got 8 minutes left of the stream. I saw this come up a lot in Twitch. Can players play sailing with other friends? So can you explain how multiplayer works briefly and how Ironman rules in particular affect ship multiplayer?
Yes. So people will have seen that, in this alpha multiplayer is available. People might have noticed someone boarded Husky's boat earlier on. You will be able to board each other's boats and go out sailing with them. You'll be able to do shipwreck salvaging, just go along for the ride, have fun, do whatever you want to do out on a boat. See, there are limited facilities available on your boat for us to actually say, you can do X, Y, Z with your friends, but there will be plenty more as we keep developing. As for the Ironman side of things, we want to make sure that Ironmen can still go out sailing with their friends, but we don't want them to get an unfair advantage effectively. And so the way that we're going to be doing this is restricting the use of these facilities based on the same criteria, more or less in most cases, as being able to build it for yourself. You'd have needed to be able to build a steel salvaging hook before you can use somebody else's steel salvaging hook. You're not going to be able to go out and do that on someone else's boat to get better XP rates.
Is there a particular training method that's going to be good for people to train together? I think it was salvaging, right? Was the one activity that we were planning on it being social. Is that correct?
It's the only one that you can kind of do with people, and even then you're kind of sharing cargo hold space, but we're hopeful that,
Let's see if my Karamon's still outside.
Just in general dropping
Why
salvage
not?
and stuff. It'll be
Could
better.
be.
The truth is that we tried to make it work. There's so many levels of abuse
It's
for
alright.
port tasks, though. It just got insane. Imagine if I think Elena mentioned this in the recent interview, right? You load up 3 friends' boats, and you're just loading up boats, and when your friend gets to the port, you teleport to the port and take cargo off and hand it in, and you've suddenly got this service where people are doing that, or we had other variants.
That doesn't sound bad though. That sounds cool.
As long as you hand in a crate of tuna, you can take someone else's crate of tuna, right? Suddenly, people would just be sitting at ports and being selling crates of tuna, and then you hand it in. So there were so many things with port tax that while it sounded really cool,
That does not sound like a
breaks
problem to me.
fundamentally, unless you're so overly restrictive to try and make it work that you just potentially hamper the actual legit player's experience. Barracuda Trials obviously probably should be solo only, right? It's a test of your navigational skill. And then sea charting is weird, because you're the individual person charting it. We don't really want to split that on the boat. Generally, you will be able to chart something from someone else's boat, but a lot of the charting places have level requirements to chart them for that reason. We obviously don't want someone to just say, hey, I'll take you to the level 90 charting spot, and suddenly you get a bigger XP drop and jumpstart your sailing, right? That just doesn't sound like good, compelling gameplay. So yes, you can chart from other people's boats, but you will require the level to chart it yourself. Obviously, shipwreck salvaging is super multiplayer friendly, right? You can all use the hook at the same time. You could theoretically build lower level hooks on your boat if you wanted, your lower level friends to use your hook on your big boat. Yeah.
All
Awesome.
right, that's
Okay, and speeding
nice.
things
Congrats
along,
on the new personal
um,
best.
Oh,
say
that
Last time I got
scared
a
the
PB
shit out of
here,
me.
I died on my hardcore Ironman.
like fishing, mining,
I thought I got
logging,
a drop.
etc.
All right, let's go home.
It's going to be integrated with those. So,
I
in
was so excited.
particular,
I thought I got
fishing,
dropped.
we're hoping to, and again, like we're going to be talking about this a bit more in the future with upcoming polls and stuff. But what we would like to do is introduce an activity called deep sea trolling, where you kind of use
Oh,
your
that's
sailing
hilarious.
skill together with fishing to try and fish from the ocean. So you basically become the fishing trawler. As in, it's not going to be anything like the existing fishing trawler. Don't worry about that. But thematically, at least, that is what you do. For the other ones, we want to introduce a new type of ore as well as a couple of new types of trees for use in shipbuilding. So we think introducing these will be a really nice way to sort of tie into the customization system that we showed off earlier. And when we were looking at this initially, we found that like there are so many more metals than what we have planks for in the game, so it didn't really line up nicely. So what we've done is we've introduced a few more, or we're hoping to, provided it passes a poll, we're hoping to introduce a few more types of planks, and then one new type of metal as well to sort of align nicely so that you can have the traditional sort of metal tiers in the upgrade space of the boats. And you'll also have a very similar progression within tree types.
Very, very exciting. So this is all stuff that after the alpha, I'm hoping we can get in front of players, get your feedback on, and poll. So you can look forward to that. I'm really loving the positivity that I can see about that. The last question I have is: are players going to be designing the skill cape and icon, as well as a question around the pet? I'm just going to lump in the answer for both of those questions. So, are players going to be designing the skill cape / icon? Are we getting a sailing pet? The answer to both of those is yes. So we still intend for a player design competition to happen. Originally, we wanted to do this very early on in development, but when we were actually planning things out fully, we decided that it should actually happen closer to the end of development. This is mainly because we wanted people to get acquainted with sailing, understand how to train it, understand how it works before we started talking about the fancy, cool stuff like the cosmetics and the rewards face.
Makes
But I do want
sense.
to shout out a really cool example from a user on Reddit that we saw very recently. This person was called Safe Bowl. Wow, just amazing. I don't know if we can get some reactions from Elena, Husky, Lenny, but when I saw this, I was amazed. So, yeah, wanted to shout this person out.
Yeah, it's a really cool take on it. And then this is the kind of stuff I'm hoping to see when we actually do launch the competitions you mentioned. Like, I could just imagine so many like different creative
My goodness,
takes
I'm
on
gonna
it.
go down
Yeah,
again.
this is really cool.
Yeah, it really is. And for the pet, like there will definitely be a sailing pet. And I would like to put forward the idea of having like the art team basically create some options for you and then putting it to a poll basically to decide what kind of pet you want. So hopefully then the community can input on that and stuff like that. One of the things that I was wondering is like, this is just a question I asked the dev team, but like, how does the chat feel? Like, if you do get to vote on a pet, would you like the outcome of that poll to be secret until launch, or would you just like to know the outcome before the launch? That was something that I couldn't really figure out myself. Would it be fun to keep it a secret, or would it just make people upset? I don't know. So seeing a lot of people say a secret pet would be cool. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
secret.
cool because I
Pull
thought it
it
would
and
be
then
cool
keep
to
it a
keep.
secret. That doesn't sound
In
bad.
general, I think the dev team would like to keep the things that we can afford to keep secret because it is going to be really cool. It's a new skill. Like it's going to take you back in time to when you were like 12 years old, playing the game for the very first time, learning things, etc. So we want to strike that good balance between community consultation, getting feedback, but also having some things be a surprise. So very, very cool to hear that. That is.
If I could just shoot in real quick there, I've been maxed since like 2018, 2019. I can't wait to be a noob again. Like, to level up again, that's gonna be crazy. I'm really excited.
I'm not
I
pumped for
remember
that.
when
Just
farming
because
was going back to old
of the
skills.
Ironman, right? If I
I've
was
been
on
to
my
this game
main, I would
before.
be
It was
super
like a
pumped for that.
campsite. My family used to do a lot
Who
like
knows?
caravanning
Maybe we
and
get
stuff.
stuff that
And
will
it
help.
was like, two computers and an internet you could technically get internet access for, and you had to pay for time. I remember saying to my mom, "Hey, please, can I please log in, do farming?" And it was so stupid. It was like plant the potato seeds that I'd stolen, and then I was like, "Okay, now what?" But it was still hyped because everyone was doing it, right? Like everyone was planting their potato seeds, and then like
We
I was
good?
like, "Okay, cool." And then
Congrats on the new personal
Another
best.
personal
Last time I
best.
got a
That's
PB
nice.
here, I died on my hardcore Ironman.
On launch day, like everyone's discovering metas. Like obviously, like that's not how people train farming now, and you know, I don't know. It just brings back good memories to me.
Some nice seeds.
Yeah, really fun times. That was all the questions that I
476
had
more
time for,
runes.
but I do want to open the space for Elena, Husky, Lenny, if you wanted to mention anything in particular.
Oh,
now's your
darn
time.
it. I'm done.
I guess
I'm
just
out of
generally
soul roads to
thanks everyone for
teleports
tuning in and
again.
taking a look at sailing, and please do dive into the alpha when it opens up on Thursday. Like I said earlier, it's going to
Just
be
wait a second
the
before we
feedback
go
is
into
really
this.
important to us.
Let's finish this
I
little
can't wait to see
video,
what you think.
and we'll continue the.
Yeah, I share that sentiment. I also want to see how fast you guys do the Barracuda trials, so please tag me in like any PBs that you get. I want to know.
Fastest playtester time and fastest time we've seen was 4:47, and they had an hour to get 4:47 and did.
I wonder if we could do something for whoever gets the best time. We'll see, but yeah, definitely go for it. Keep an open mind. I know that the skill itself has been somewhat polarizing. We can see that. We read your comments every single day.
Let's see.
And
I do have some thoughts that I want to share after this, but
you're
we
not
do have the
100% sold
alpha,
on sailing,
and I'm
that
pumped
you
for it.
leave your feedback in the server
You know,
so that
this
the
part, the
team has
Barracuda
it and they know
trials
where to
seems
improve.
cool.
Some of the
I like the
comments I've
scavenging,
seen,
that's very skill wise,
is just
but
like,
like the
it
exploring
would
and
be so
stuff.
much better
Yeah,
for
I get
us
it. You're
and for
sailing and
you
you're
is
exploring.
if you include just like what we could improve
I don't know. I
specifically.
guess the
So
Barracuda
trying to
trials
make that
definitely
as
feels like a
constructive as
minigame, but
possible
it does
will
look
really help us to
fun-ish.
help you.
We'll see.
Thank you
We'll
so
see.
much as well for tuning in and engaging with us. I'm gonna go over the
Get my
announcements
thoughts
and then
together
we'll
in a
wrap up the
second.
stream. So exclamation mark alpha will take you to the behind the scenes news post from RuneFest. There will be a new blog going live on Thursday. Exclamation mark video will take you to the gameplay trailer that we showed off at RuneFest. There should be also another video coming, but it's not quite ready to show you yet. And exclamation mark Discord is our dedicated sailing Discord. I would urge you guys, if you have any questions that need immediate help regarding sailing, utilizing the Discord, that's something that we will be a lot more active in during the alpha feedback window. There's going to be a forum there where you can submit bug reports or just feedback, praise, constructive criticism, things like that. There's also an Ask Us Anything channel where we will try our best within our working hours to stay on top of. So with that all out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for all of the positivity in the chat. We see you. We appreciate you. You make what we do so special. So thank you so much. And we will see you on Thursday at 11 a.m. for the Sailing Alpha.
Awesome.
Woo!
All right. Thursday at 11
Bye,
a.m.
everyone.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Alright, let's leave the little background music for a second. Alright, so my thoughts on sailing. I thought that the skill was going to be really horrible when it comes to movement, but the Barracuda trials look cool with the movement wise, alright? I thought it was going to be clunky. I don't like the... Ooh la la. I don't like on the bottom right that little interface that tells you to stop and stuff. I guess I mean it's just an interface, but I don't like it. Barracuda trials seems cool. The scavenging seems cool. The little contracts that you do, sure, that seems cool. I'm not a big fan of the exploring thing. Obviously, you're in the sea. I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? But that part seemed a little silly to me. How they went and showed the binoculars in the Wizard's Tower. They could have picked a cooler place. But overall, it seems nice. Actually, not too skeptical about it. I would have liked another like standard skill. I would have liked the one that they proposed, which was essentially crafting for magic gear. But there's a new take. It's a new spin. I'm gonna try it on Thursday. I'm gonna see if I have some time and stream a little bit of the alpha. See if I like it. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Uh, this whole time we've been doing some Sora, so we're at 132. We started at 100 KC today. I have 476 blood runes left. I'm definitely gonna go whenever the stream's over. I'm definitely gonna go do some real blood rune crafting. I need it to continue doing this and for barrage tasks and all that stuff. All right, we're gonna keep doing our Sora grind. I'm gonna take a real quick piss and I'm gonna drink some water and make myself some coffee. But I'm here. I'm not leaving. Just muting myself to do these things. Leave you guys with some tunes. Some tunes. Yeah. Be back in a second. All right, so I checked. We've been running this stream what? For how long has this thing been running? Let's see. Two hours. All right. Well, I do have a dog that I have to take out and feed. Gotta feed myself too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 trips, and then we're out of here. Maybe 3 trips. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving that I have my house now, like with the ornate pool. I love that I learned how to do the blood rune crafting, so I can have some nice stack of blood runes for these kills. Ah. I also have a good amount of anti-venom, so I'm just gonna cure the venom right away. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Some chaos runes, that's cool. It says fucking 1,000 chaos runes, that's sexy. Honestly. Let's go back at it. What do we got here? Yeah, we can do another one. I'm sure I should do this and then do this. Alright. I wish I had a spec weapon for... I honestly wish I had a spec weapon for this. We've done 2 kills in that trip. This will be the 3rd one. Well, I don't guess you wouldn't call that a trip. So I left, right? I guess two kills per sip. Let's say it like that. I gotta be careful about it. Let's try to get to 10. We're at 8 now. Last one. And then one more kill and we'll take out the doggy. She gotta pee and poo and then she gotta eat. Got some free damage on this bitch. Ten torsos, nice. Yo, coconuts, everything's good, everything's good. Give me more, give me more. Alright. This is gonna be the last trip for real. And then I gotta walk the doggy, feed the doggy, and feed myself. Let's see, I don't have any. No, I don't have any more teleports. Oh, this is beautiful. So, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of rune crafting while off stream. Doing some blood runes. I don't know if it'll get me a good amount of experience, but I do need a lot of blood runes. I know I can do say rune crafting for AFK. Should I get 90 fire making for the colossal pouch degrading thing? I'm gonna see if that works outside of the. Because the problem that I have with it is that I've read that the lantern only works inside of the winter tile. So Sorry, Guardians. Jesus. Yeah, man. What I'll be doing after the stream though is maybe reading up on it. If I get 90 fire making, and that then allows me to if I get 90 fire making and that allows me to have that so that my pouches don't degrade, I'm definitely gonna do that. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. I just don't know if that shit works outside of the Guardians of the Rift, because I've heard some debates about the lantern not working outside. But then, how am I gonna get the redwood? Another grind, another grind. Maybe I'll do like 2k. I'll do like 2k blood runes after I do the 2k blood runes. I'll head to Wintertod, get 90 fire making, and then I'll go with AFK wood cutting whenever I have the chance. Why not? Ooh, a Zulrah teleport. Look at this, look at this, look at this, what I'm about to do. Look what I'm about to do. Look, check this out, check this out. Boom. We back for 2 more kills right here. Oh man, I don't know why people will get tired of Zulrah, honestly. I think it's such a fun boss. I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh no, the Zulrah grind. Compared to CG, this is beautiful, huh? I want the serp visage though, for the Pharaoh Scepter. Oof, my house will be, if I get that, a cult altar. Magic seed. Nice. Let's go again. We're going again. Ain't no stopping me now. I was bringing way too many prayer potions before. Yo! Thank you, Mandino, for for tuning in, Papacito. I'm going off soon though, but thank you for tuning in. I guess there's no point on me using the other divine. Yeah, not at all. Sweet. One more trip, guys. I'm at 139. Let's try to get to 140. Oh, my poor doggy. She hungry. Last one. I'm so cruel. I shouldn't do it this. I'm just getting pumped because I've gotten some really good kills. Alright. Oh, silly me. Okay. Let's go again. Last trip for real. I'll do it until the divine potion wears out. That's what I'm gonna do this time. Shoot it once, and run here. Shoot it again, run here. Shoot it again, run here. Alright. When I run here, I have to do like not only my gear switching, but I have to like take it. Oh, he was chancing me. All right, sweet. Oof, I don't have enough. I don't have a lot of food, but I can do. Let's do one more kill. It's perfect. This worked out perfectly. One last kill. Oh, that lag. That was a crazy ass lag spike. Oof. That was nice. Those were some nice hits. Oof, another Zulrah teleport. Alright, guys. We got 41 KC this stream, and we were able to watch the saline information. The saline. Welcome to the stream, guys. I am calling it a day in a few minutes. I want to read up to see if the Abyssal Lantern works outside of... should I do one more trip? I'm going to do one more trip because I got a new viewer right here. I have a doggy that needs me to take her out to poop. If not, she's going to poop all over the house. But it's okay. I can clean it. Let's do it. Last one. Last one. Last one for real, for real. It's only like 4 minutes. Guys, this Thursday, the Saline Alpha comes out. Super pumped for it. Just give it a try. And I think on the 2nd of April, the new Last Epoch season starts. And then on the 4th, Path of Exile 2 gets released to everybody. So I got a lot of gaming to do. But I'm not sure if to start Path of Exile 2 or just play the new... Last Epoch season, just because I will be heading out to a work trip, so I can get 2 days in of Last Epoch and like 1 day in of I can get like 4 days in of Last Epoch or like 1 day of Path of Exile 2. Some problems to have, huh? My goodness, I didn't hit any time. I don't think I'll be able to do two kills here. We'll see. I'll go home right after this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I guess it's gonna be just a one. Oh, I didn't even have my helmet on. What's wrong with me? Jad face too. What? Yeah, no. It wasn't meant to be. That's alright. Alright guys, so thank you all for joining. We had a really good stream. We had some fun. We watched the Saline live stream while killing some Zulrah. We got 42 Zulrah kills. No uniques yet, but no problem. I'm really happy with all the drops we're getting with the seeds and everything. This Thursday we will be doing the Saline Alpha when I stream at night, just to get a feel for it. I'm not sure how I feel about the new skill yet. And yeah, as I was just mentioning, I believe on April 2nd or April 3rd, we get the new Last Epoch season. I haven't played Last Epoch in a while. I want to show you guys here my playtime on Last Epoch. So you guys know that I played quite a bit of it. I played 233 hours of Last Epoch when it was first released. I fucking love this ARPG. I'm super excited. Oh no, they changed the launch date. Oh well. That makes my decision easier. I guess I'll be playing Path of Exile 2 then. But yeah, the new season of Last Epoch is coming out on the 17th of April. I'm super pumped for it. I love this game. This is my favorite ARPG. I've done Diablo. I've done a few others. I haven't done Path of Exile properly, so I'm not going to say Path of Exile. I'm going to go into Last Epoch Season 2 blind, and I'm also going to be doing Path of Exile 2. So a little bit more variety coming soon. And then as for RuneScape, what I'm going to be doing off stream basically is I'm going to find out if the Abyssal Lantern works outside of Guardians of the Rift, because I need to start making blood runes, and the Colossal Pouch, like having to cast that shit, it's annoying, the contact NPC, or having to go here to fix it. If it does, then I'll just do Winter Tot, get 90 fire making, and then I guess I'll do some AFK wood cutting to get 90 wood cutting so I can get some redwood logs. I don't think I have any redwood logs. Yeah, so that I can add that buff to it. But meanwhile, I'm going to keep a stack of 2k blood runes for next Zulrah. So I'll be doing rune crafting, I'll be doing fire making, and I'll be doing wood cutting. So that, I'll have a nice fat stack of blood runes for Zulrah, or for whenever I need it, really. Because I've been doing some Slayer as well. I got 81 Slayer. I'm currently doing Grotesque Guardian task. I know ideally you want to do Gargoyles, but I think I'm going to do Grotesque Guardian until I get the Tourmaline Core, and then I'll just do Gargoyles afterwards. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. We had an amazing time. Thank you for the support. Hopefully I'll see you guys around soon.